Hello and welcome back to the Bobby and Beardy Show, specifically Beardy's big time super spooky corner of Spookums. Of course, as ever, I am joined by the 971st bearded wonder of the world, McBeardy, and today we'll be discussing the film Tarot. But wait, what's this? We're joined by a special guest. Well, let me tell you, this special guest has wanted me to let you know, viewer, that there are time codes below. And you can skip around to spoilers and not spoilers, whatever you want. They're just down below. And also, this special guest really wants you to know that we're on Spotify and you can listen there as well. So feel free. And if you're on Spotify, there's actually a link to the YouTube playlist instead. Oh, also the special guest is Torgie, but you know, whatever.
That's me.
Who really?
Hi.
You know. Torgie,
Also,
hello.
yes, all of those things.
Torgie,
And rate them 5 stars.
how are you, Torgie?
I'm good. We're chilling. I am the only one that watched the movie, apparently, so that's fun.
Ooh,
It's not necessarily
That's fun.
inaccurate from me, but as we know, this is Beardy's big time spooky doopy whatever I said at the start, and I don't do horror films, but that's why I've brought you along, Torgie, to help me out because I don't have to watch them, so you can discuss Spookums with Beardy. Also, Beardy,
I can.
How the devil are you?
We discussed this in just before starting. I'm super tired, I'm super overworked, and I'm going away for a week with work as well. So I've stopped work specifically for this podcast, and it is the best thing to do with my time. So thank you for starting it.
Also, his camera wasn't working because it wasn't plugged in, but he won't admit it.
It wasn't.
Shut
It's
up.
true.
Well, let's crack on with the show because I have to go and see the movie If in a bit because the 9 a.m. showing I went for this morning was cancelled due to a burst water pipe. So
9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yeah, I was up an early bird, and I walk into the cinema going, right, it's 10 past 9. The adverts are going to be rolling. Let's crack on. And the guy's like, nah, I don't think so, mate. Off you pop. He was very polite.
It's because you were probably the only one there.
I did actually look
Who
on
watched
the
the film at 9 in the morning?
Amy was driving us to the cinema, and I did look to see how busy it was. And we were 2 of 8 people. So,
Wow.
people wanted to see the movie at 9 a.m.
That's more than I thought.
That is more than I thought, too.
Exactly. Right, okay. I'll give you the rundown, as usual, and then we'll let you guys have a lovely chat, and I'll throw in a couple of curveball questions, and we'll see who liked the spooky film the spookiest. Tarot is a supernatural horror film written and directed by Spencer Cohen and Anna Hallberg in their feature film directorial debut. It is based on the 1992 novel Horoscope by Nicholas Adams, and Adams co-wrote this movie as well. The film stars Harriet Slater, Aidan Bradley, oh my god, why do I always not read the names before I start? Avantika Van Dapu, that's butchered horribly, I apologise. Wolfgang
You're nailing it.
Novogratz, Humbly Gonzalez, that looks like a
Yeah,
typo.
I'm sure that's right.
Larson Thompson and Jacob
100%.
Athelon. The release date was the 3rd of May on a budget of €7,416,000, which is $8 million US, with a box office of $13 million US, which is €12,329,100. Now, why am I giving you in euros? Well, apparently, in my research, tarot cards were actually invented in Italy in the 1430s by adding a 5th suit of 21 specially illustrated cards called triumphs and an odd card called the Fool to an existing 4-suited pack. This is an educational stream.
It's not a stream.
Oh, it's not
It's
a
not a
stream!
stream.
It's staying in.
Amazing.
Anyway, whatever. There may be a quiz later, by the way, because I presume this is an educational film. But,
Yes.
more importantly, Torgie, as you've actually watched the movie,
Oh, wow.
I have.
what did you think as our guest? Go first.
I mean, for a PG-13 horror movie, I thought it was fine. It was funny. It wasn't super gory, but again, it's a PG-13, so I enjoyed it overall. It was fun. Got some laughs out of me.
Excellent.
None of the jump scares really got me, but you could see those coming a mile away. So
I bet they'd get me, even if I did see
I
them
bet they
coming a mile
would.
away. I'd be like,
I bet they would.
big old jump. I didn't realize it was a PG-13 until you told me, because in the UK here it's a 15, and we talked off recording a couple of days ago,
PG-13 here.
and I learned so much about the differences in rating systems, mostly boob related. So There we go.
It is boob related. It's true.
Beardy, what did you think of the film?
Again, it was good. It wasn't the best horror film I've seen. It follows your standard horror story timeline. Innocuous thing happens that seems like it could be fine. Oh no, it's not fine. We need to go find someone who knows about this. Oh, it's got even worse. Oh, we might be able to get out of it, see what happens. It's the same as The Grudge, The Ring, One Missed Call, Stay Alive. I do agree, the funny parts of this made it better. I think that Paxton, the character played by Jacob Batalon, did a great job of adding the comedy element. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't super scary. Well, it wasn't scary at all, if I'm honest, but it was a fun watch.
I thought the monster design was really good, and
It really
I was getting really big Cabin in the Woods vibes.
Yes.
Like, it felt like a horror comedy. I think it was written as a horror comedy. That's the vibe I was getting, which made me like it a little bit more.
This is what actually kind of surprised me when Bobby mentioned that it was, $8 million as a budget? That the creature design was actually really good. I've seen a lot
100%.
better, so a lot worse with a lot more money.
I'm also glad they didn't put all of that budget into CG, because I noticed a lot of the effects were practical, which
Yes.
I particularly enjoyed.
Like that.
Yeah, I think that most of the creatures, sort of the fool, the jester, whatever, they were all people actually acting in suits. The costuming in this was
Right.
actually really well done as well.
Also, unfortunately, all the monsters were really hot.
Well, that's a take to... I did not
For
agree
some,
with that.
Unfortunate for others, I imagine.
I mean, I didn't think it was very unfortunate, if I'm being honest.
That
I
says
also
a
really
lot.
appreciated all of the quirky montages. Like in the beginning of the movie, they had a quirky theft montage. After they were smoking in the woods, they went into a store and they were all stealing stuff. And then later there was like a very fast, like, do tarot on the floor montage, which made me laugh very hard.
So,
the-
is it safe to say that you guys are both super, knowledgeable now about tarot cards based on this film, being an educational film that it is, a comedy, educational horror film?
So I had
I'll
a
let
decent
Beardy
idea.
answer this first.
I had a decent idea on tarot cards before this. I'm not the biggest person who buys into sort of tarot and horoscopes and astrological stuff anyway. But I knew of the cards and some of the symbolism. So
did you?
I learnt nothing.
And Torgie, are you a big expert on tarot cards?
Yeah, I've been reading tarot for like 10 years now.
It's
I have
time
many
for a bloody
different decks.
quiz then! Here we go!
Amazing.
These
I'm
are
ready.
all according to tarot.com. It's not sponsored, obviously. These are the first answers from my Google search that took me 2 minutes. So,
Tarot.com?
how could you...
Where else would you go for your tarot card needs?
Exactly. That's all I need right there. So we're going to do this as a head-to-head quiz. You're going to both get
damn.
3 options. Not options. You're going to get 3 chances on different cards. And then if there, by some miracle there's a tie break, we've got 1 extra. Or it could be... I'm just going to say it could be Beardy's redemption. I'm expecting...
I think I'm going to lose already. So do I, but still.
We'll start
me
with
some
you
credit.
then, Beardy. The Fool. What does that card represent?
Me,
you
I'm the fool. I don't know. Didn't they say in the film it was something to do with new beginnings?
I'll give you that.
Is that a thing?
Actually, it signifies, apparently, I mean, I don't know, but it signifies the start of a new journey. Does our tarot card expert Torgie agree with this?
I do. So the picture on the Fool card is a guy walking, starting a new journey, and he's not really carrying anything. So it's like a brand new beginning. He's excited, he's joyful, and he's just ready to go.
It's like me playing Minecraft, leaving everybody else.
Can I interrupt here then?
No, absolutely not. This is my quiz.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
of course you can. Go for
Fair
it.
enough.
Interrupt away.
So why is it like the fool's always kind of represented as this sort of jester character if it's not so much about that? I'm generally curious because obviously in the film he's very much a jester character as well.
Well, he's called the Fool, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but like you're saying that he's not depicted as that on the card.
He is. Just because I didn't talk about his outfit doesn't mean he's not dressed as a fool.
Fine. I was just
I'm
going off
not
what I was
gonna go into
told.
the whole background. Damn.
I thought we had 20 pages of notes.
Of the movie. We're not even talking about the movie.
Well, let's see if our resident tarot card expert can answer this question. Here's your first question. What does the Empress card represent, Torgie?
Are you just going through all of the cards in the deck?
No, not all of them.
I'm just wondering.
I've selected a few.
He definitely is. He 100%.
Anyway, this is all time wasting. You don't know the answer clearly.
So the Empress is all about like self-love. She's always like really big in like how you feel about yourself and a lot of self-reflection and all that.
Well, it says here it's about being able to offer emotional leadership, a nurturing personality, often for well, the indicator of fertility, but not necessarily literal babies. Just it could be creativity.
Right.
So I'm going to give you half a point, I reckon, for that one.
I'll take it.
And I think I'm being quite generous. Beardy, here's another question for you. Let's speed this up. The devil, go.
The devil, they said that... Oh, no, that was death. Fuck. The devil was... I knew death. Give me death.
No, that's mine. Cough.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Shall I change my rules halfway through this quiz and allow a buzz in from Torgie to steal more points? Sure.
Brant, no, I really want Beardy to answer it. Brant, that's my answer.
Okay. I can make a guess.
Go for it.
Go on, then.
My guess is going to be terrible. It's going to be based on some sort of evil stuff happening, bad stuff happening in your
evil,
life.
Good guess.
That's good. The devil apparently
For someone who knows nothing.
fear, temptation, and vices, things that could lead you off course and further away from your true self. So there we go. Torgie, however, what does the hanged man represent? Come on.
A hanged guy. There's a guy on the card and he's
Massive
hanging.
what?
You know? Yeah. It's all about a really quick, long walk off of a really short pier. You know what I mean?
No, you're getting 0 points. It indicates a major perspective shift. I thought you were the expert. This is a disaster for you. Could indicate a sacrifice is needed, and you need to be more considerate of other people's needs, like respecting my quiz slightly more. I don't know.
Sorry.
Beardy, final question for you. I think you're technically winning by 1 point to 0.5.
He gets death?
Death.
Do I get death?
Such bullshit.
So they said in the film, and I remember this because I did see the film. Screw you both. It can be the end of one thing, the beginning of another. It doesn't always mean death, but sometimes it does literally mean death.
In
That's
your
a specific
case,
line.
it just means death.
Direct
correct.
quote from the film, everyone.
3 times. They say it 3 times
Oh,
in the movie.
no.
I wrote it down.
How many death cards are there for them to be saying it that many times? Outrageous. It doesn't represent actual physical death. It represents letting go of ways of being and things that are no longer serving you, being willing to move on to
could
a
mean
new
death.
identity. Or it could mean death in your case.
Could mean death.
All right.
Could be.
So you're winning 2 points to half. So technically,
stop here.
I'll take it.
Torgie can't win, but let's see.
I got my participation point. I'm not
No.
even
Let's do a double or nothing. So you like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we want to go.
gonna
I'll
end
bet
up 2.5
I'll bet my
0.
half point.
All
I'm
right,
going all
yeah.
in.
If you get this correct, it's a tie, and we'll go to a very exciting tie break. The sun.
Okay.
What does that represent?
So the sun is really big and in the sky. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I've never seen it.
But how do you feel when you go out in the sun? You feel happy. You feel optimistic. You feel like you could do anything. You feel empowered.
Apparently, it represents freedom and growth. It can indicate experience a time of prosperity. Either you're about to go into one, or you've had a really poop time, so you're about to go into one essentially. So I mean, I don't want to,
Give me another half. Give me another half.
Yeah,
Give me another half.
Okay, fine. We'll just go all in.
Yeah.
All in. We'll go all in on the tie break / redemption. First to buzz in with the correct
All in
answer.
for me is 1 point.
We'll
So
go
wait,
one
I'm
last-
winning, but I could lose from this.
Yes, absolutely. The magician, buzz in with the correct answer. Go.
I want to hear Beardy's. Go on.
Isn't it sort of like creation, like longing and desire, something like that?
We'll put that
that
idea
right?
on the back burner while Torgie gives me her answer.
That is kind of also what I was going to say. It's very performative, but it's kind of taking control of what you want and your own desires.
Apparently, it represents skill and logic, a card of practice and experience, leading you to become a master of your craft, which doesn't sound like what you guys said. So unfortunately, you're both disqualified, and I'm the winner.
I like that.
I
Congratulations.
should have seen this coming, 100%.
Winner speech. Winner speech. Do a winner speech.
I'd like to congratulate myself on this amazing quiz. And maybe Beardy and Torgie could tell me a little bit more about why they liked this film. Thank you.
So like I say, one of the reasons I liked it is I haven't watched decent horror films in a long time. They've been very few and far between. But I started watching
I disagree with that.
We'll discuss that in a second. I think I'm right, and I'm definitely right. But I watched a lot of horror films.
Child. You sweet, sweet summer child.
I watched a lot of good horror or decent horror films when I was a lot younger, and this had a similar feel to that. That's what made me like it so much. There's a lot of nostalgia to it. Like I say, the fact that it follows the same pattern as the Grudge, The Ring, etc., that I watched all in the same sort of year or two. It just felt quite nice. It was a group of teenagers doing dumb stuff, and then the dumb stuff keeps happening. Even when they realize they're going to do dumb stuff, they're like, oh, we're definitely not going to do the thing we were told us not to do. Oh, like we did it and we died. That sucks. It was funny. It was good. And yeah, I was just very impressed by the casting side of it, the monster design side of it, but even sort of some of the shots they used whilst they're being chased by some of the tower creatures.
I have
really
that
good.
written down. It was really well shot. That bridge scene in particular.
Yes, very
the
much so.
framing on that, the lighting on, like, it was really good. I think the reason why I liked this as much as I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I normally don't like PG-13 horror movies. This felt like a love letter to horror. It had, like, when they go to the house in the woods, that was just out of The Evil Dead. Like, so that house is the Evil Dead house. They go into the basement with a bunch of creepy stuff. And then it kind of took a little, like, Cabin in the Woods turn, where it's like there's a bunch of different stuff. So, like, what haunted thing are they going to pick to seal their fate kind of situation? And then they go to a house that looks like the Elm Street house a little later down the road. And, like, it just felt like... And again, because the design of the monsters was so good, I want the deck from the movie. The card design was gorgeous. Those cards were so cool. It just felt like a love letter to horror. And it was this is like how you're saying, like, I grew up watching these movies, and I think the people who made this movie did too, because you could feel it. Yeah.
I think that the play with the light as well, obviously when... one of the kids, I can't remember his name, is being chased by the hermit, and the light keeps disappearing so he can see his light, and he kind of runs off to the red exit sign and goes to the restricted section. That was really well done. When there's two of them being chased by their own tarot, and the devil scoots back into the corner, into the darkness, and becomes death. It was so well done. It was so well animated.
Definitely. Yeah, I really appreciated how well done the monsters were. I was also kind of getting, I don't know if you saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, that movie.
Yes. Yeah.
So that movie was not good, right?
No, it wasn't.
The monsters looked like they opened that book and shook it, and the monsters from that book fell out and played in the movie. Like, they did so well, but you could tell that they loved those books and wanted to do them justice. And again, I got super, super similar vibes from this movie. Were both of those movies fantastic? Absolutely not. Were they fun? Yeah. Worth watching? I would say yeah.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that.
I think this is going to be a really good summer teen horror, for sure.
Yeah, and like you say, it wasn't too heavy on gore. The scares were very telegraphed, so it isn't good entry to horror for people who maybe aren't as good with the scares. Bobby.
I'm shaking my head.
I mean, there were... So most of the scares are jump scares, but there's also a lot of atmospheric horror, like that scene you were talking about when the hermit scene where with his lantern.
Yeah.
Most of the time in horror movies, you have a really long hallway and the darkness slowly comes up. That was not the case here. That guy got into the dark hallway and that darkness was like sprinting at this man. It was so fast, and that made it scarier because that wasn't something that like we normally see often. Normally it's slow, it's ominous, it's foreboding. This whole movie was like fast. We got fast going on, the killers are moving fast, we're moving fast, everyone's running, it was a fast movie.
And there's some stuff about the film I really enjoyed, but we can't really cover it until spoiler section. but yeah, there's some elements of it that it did things I dislike from horror as well, but there were some moments where they did some stuff that I really, really did enjoy. And yeah, just I can't really say much more until spoilers.
Yeah, I think this would be a really good intro to horror for people.
Yes, it definitely. So again, Bobby, we'll buy you it and send it to you.
Oh, thanks.
That's
Thanks so
Beardy
much.
said that, not me. I want that on the record. I did not say that.
We'll buy you it, so that's he signed you up for that. Thanks so much, Torgie. I really appreciate the gift. It sounds like you guys are ready to go into spoilers.
I reckon so.
Can I get a thumbs up or thumbs down from you, Beardy? I imagine I know what it is.
I think it's a thumbs up, yeah. Like I say, it's not a scary film. It's not going to last with me, but it was a good film and I enjoyed my time watching it.
And Torgie, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down from you?
One thumbs up, but with this thumb because it has a Band-Aid on it because I heard it yesterday. So this one in particular.
Heard it during the movie, sharpening her pencils to make notes. Just so you're aware.
Sorry, can you pause the movie? Which tarot card was that?
Okay, brilliant. Well, there we go. 2 thumbs up. And now we're in big time spooky spoiler time. So if you don't want any spoilers, now's the time to depart. But if you want to know all the spoilery opinions, now's the time for that. I just want to say, this sounds like you kept mentioning previously how funny it is and how what's its actual balance between horror and comedy? Because it feels like you've almost mentioned comedy more in your brief reviews you've both done.
I would say like 40-60. I would say it's not as schlocky and comedy based as like Tucker and Dale versus Evil or Cabin in the Woods. I don't think it's that funny. But it's definitely, I laughed out loud multiple times.
Oh, nice.
I think a lot
the
of the
writing
comedy,
was good.
A lot of the comedy is driven by Paxton's character. Which again,
that's kind of what he's typecast as always, though. Like
100%.
when he's in the Spider-Man movies, like that's just who he is.
Yeah.
Part of the spoilers that I want to talk about also completely spoils the Jordan Peele movie, so I don't know if I can say it here.
Well, we're in spoilers.
It's in the spoiler section. Yeah, I think it's
Am
fine.
I allowed to spoil other movies?
Let's spoil every film we know.
Yeah, every single movie you know.
Spoilers for Jordan Peele's Get Out. Have either of you seen Get Out?
I mean, you know the answer. Obviously, I've seen it.
Okay, so
No, I
Beardy,
haven't.
you know the last like 5 minutes of that movie after everything is done and it's homeboy and he's like walking down the street and he's trying to get out and that car pulls up and you think in your head you're like, oh my god, it's the police. Like this movie is going to end the same way that the Walking Dead, the same way that what the hell is the first zombie movie ever made? Help.
Dawn of the Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
One of the two.
The way that ended, like it's just going to be like the cop's going to show up and they're going to think that because he's black he did everything and they're going to shoot him and that's like how we're going to end this movie and it's going to be so terrible and sad. But then the comedic relief pulls up and he's like, hey guys, I'm here to save the day and give you one last joke. That ending was this ending.
Yes.
To a T.
100%. It's pretty much like a one-for-one replication of it.
100%.
I do like the fact, so previously to the ending of this, you do see Paxton's character, he's being chased by the Fall because the Fall is his sort of like tarot card that's coming for him. And the whole thing is that he's going to be enclosed in and there's going to be ascending numbers. And he keeps going like, well, we're in a car and there's a speedo, so that could be doing it. And then there's like, it eventually ends up he's in a lift in his like college dorm building and he's terrified.
An elevator for those who need that.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry. I should be more inclusive. That's my bad.
Be less English, Beardy. Jesus Christ.
I don't think I can. Have you heard how I talk?
I don't even know who you are.
Fair point. But yeah, so like he's trapped in this elevator, lift, whatever, and he's kind of crouched on the floor screaming, and his roommate kind of saves him by accident by opening the door, and that's how he happens to get in the car and come to the end.
That scene was very funny.
Yeah. It's
that
so
was
well
very
done.
funny.
I can't remember my point now, but it was very funny.
Well, do you have any more
I do
big
think-
spoilers you want to talk about?
I mean, that was the main one. It's hard to, like Beardy was saying, it's very like, you know what's going to happen. You're like, oh, okay, well, this person got pulled the hanging man, so like they're going to die via hanging. Or this person got the magician, so obviously they're going to get sawed in half, and she does. Although, when it shows the girl who got sawed in half in the box, he only cut her like at the knees. That wouldn't kill you.
To be fair, it does seem like she's just given up.
I think she just gave up. I don't think the tarot person got her at all.
I mean, it might kill you. You could bleed to death from that sort of thing, I suppose. But
not
she
in
didn't
the
even try
amount
and
of
get away.
time that she had.
Oh,
Yeah, she died
I see.
instantly. She didn't. She gave up.
So the sawn in
of
half.
the
Would you
things-
have preferred other magic tricks, like she gets pulled out of someone's hat and like just can't fit and just gets strangled or something like that, or like she's like bopped on the head and explodes into flowers? Or something?
No, I do think that this is the obvious choice for it. I do think again it's a really weird scene because in all the other deaths by tarot, it's kind of like a lonely singular event where there's like this creepy audience watching and laughing and she's terrified by it, which again adds a bit of sort of like elemental fear to it. Like it's atmospheric.
I think that scene made me realize that she's really an entity that has control over her surroundings. And by her, I mean I'm talking about the astrologer whose deck she possessed.
Yep.
So up until then, yeah, it's just like a one-on-one. It's very like targeted. It's very like almost like intimate. Like it's just the person being killed and the entity. But this, it was like a whole performance. It was a whole show, and you don't see multiple monsters together until after that scene, which I thought was also interesting.
Yeah. I think, like I said, there's not a huge amount of spoilers for this, like you said as well. Like, you know what's happening.
You know what's going to happen, yeah, when you're watching it.
I was beginning to feel a bit concerned that it would get to the end and there's a couple that's involved and they're kind of like the final couple and they'll get out of it alive and everyone will be happy. And I hate happy endings in films, if I'm honest. Just like your standard traditional, oh, the couple are together and they've survived and everything's all good. That annoys the hell out of me. I like seeing a bit of misery once in a while.
That's
or
why you
a
hated
twist
The Fall
on
Guy.
the ending. Yeah, I hate that film. I think it's going to be the worst film of the year. But it was good when they sort of brought in the comedy relief into the third person. It's not the standard ending, because I do think that's overdone.
You should watch The Fog.
I've seen The Fog. I like The Fog.
You want to be upset as spaghetti and cry at the end of the most dire and desolate
It's quite dark.
ever.
Bobby, I will tell you about this at some point in the middle of the day so you don't get too scared.
Thank you.
The Fog isn't scary.
Sounds
Oh,
pretty
come
spooky
on,
to
Bobby's
me.
That
terrified of
movie's
his shadow.
great.
I don't know. Have
Oh,
you ever
Bobby
driven
would
in fog?
piss himself.
Pretty scary.
Bobby would piss himself for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hide the fact that I'm an absolute scaredy cat when it comes to this sort of thing. So that's absolutely fine. I reckon a good magician murder would have been, by the way, instead of just being the classic cut in half thing, it should have been where the standing box and they get separated into different sections. So they, and swords go in multiple times, and then all the boxes could get opened, and like a head's to the left and a stomach's to the right, and the knees are to the left again, and it's like really gory. I reckon that'd be quite. I mean, I wouldn't want to watch it. Obviously, I'd be scared to death. But
The swords going in thing kind of happened first. It was kind of like the saw being poked through where he didn't hit her, so then he kind of like cuts her in half. So
I see.
yeah.
I do have a
not original.
criticism
Okay.
of the movie. There was one part in the movie where they were like, oh my gosh, the person is making all these deaths look like an accident. Do you remember that part? When she was like, everyone just looks like an accidental death.
Yeah,
Immediately after, they said that immediately after the girl died from the attic thing.
Yep.
How do you accidentally bash your own head in with a ladder?
I think that's totally doable. I've hit my own knee with a bowling ball.
I mean,
Over and over and over again?
I had
happen.
a loft ladder in my old place, and I did drop it on my head once because it released
Over and over and over again?
Just the once. But if it was dramatic enough, it could have done some damage. I'm just saying I'm that stupid.
I don't think this... So the script was fine. The script was funny. Could have been edited another time or two. Because why was that line in there? None of them looked like an accident.
Yeah, some of it did seem very forced, especially at the beginning. It kind of got into its own around sort of second act, third act. But at the beginning, especially the relationship between some of the friends was a bit obviously forced. There's no other way to put it.
I did not care about any of the people in this movie.
I honestly, the only person I cared about was Paxton because he was funny. Everyone else was like, if you die, that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't care about anybody else.
Fair enough.
They didn't do a good job of like feeling attached, especially to the main character. Was it Haley?
Yeah, I have no idea because I didn't care about her either.
Yeah, like they tried to do this whole backstory that she got into tarot because of her mum dying of, I think, cancer. And the whole thing through this is you can't fight fate. Fate's coming for you. And at the end, it's like, we'll make our own fate.
If you could change your fate, would ya?
Yes, maybe.
She said yes. She said yes.
I'd consider it.
Yeah, fate was a running theme throughout this, but I don't think it was done well enough to be like an actual legit running theme.
Yeah.
And they kept on bringing that up at like the weirdest moments. I was also getting like Katara from Avatar The Last Airbender vibes because every 5 minutes after they initially brought it up, the girl was like, oh my God, you're drinking water? My dead cancer mom used to drink water. I am now upset that you brought up drinking water because it reminded me of my mom.
That sounds pretty heartless, actually. I'm on this girl's side, actually.
So you're Katara. You're the
Why
problem.
would you drink water? That's so rude.
Bobby is the problem. We know this.
Bobby's the problem.
All right, we're already over time,
Confirmed.
so give me your final thoughts if you've got any. If not, we'll wrap up. Anything to add? Torgie,
I think it was
first?
fine. I think it was fine.
Excellent.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Oh, we don't do that here. We don't do that here.
No, we've already got the thumbs up. We know the score.
No, that wasn't for the movie. That was how I felt about it.
Okay.
Well, that's in fairness, Torgie, you lost the other 4 because you were too busy sharpening your pencils to pay attention to the movie. So, Beardy, any final thoughts?
I enjoyed it. Like I say, it's definitely worth a watch. It's a good intro to horror. It's not particularly scary, but it does have some elements to it. So if you're not hugely into scaring yourself, this would be a good start.
I mean, it seems to me
This would be a good horror date night.
It seems to me like the best way to
quite
change
light.
your fate is to not play with tarot cards, because otherwise
If you
get
could
killed by
change
the
your
tarot
fate.
card. So there's
I think
Yeah.
next time I come down to see you, Bobby, we should use tarot cards.
no.
How about the next time I come out there, I'll bring a deck.
Yeah,
Agreed.
you can pull all your own tarot
Okay.
cards, and then I'll just leave. But that'll be me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as someone does it.
That'll be me changing my fate.
The principle
Change
of the
your
film is
fate.
it doesn't matter if you do it, as long as someone reads your fortune, you're screwed.
Yeah,
So-
they can do it against your will.
Well, that's bloody rude, isn't it? Anyway, Beardy,
That's how they
is.
killed the big bad.
take
Yes.
us home, Beardy.
Okay, well, thank you very much for listening, everybody. You can find us, as Bobby said, on YouTube if you want to see. I think, are we all 3 being on this, like facially wise? Yes.
All capped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you want to
That
see
would have
all
been something to
3
ask before we started. You wouldn't
look,
don't be late next time.
He's going to look like a crazy person at the very end of a 3-person video podcast going, are we recording?
Are we on? Are we
I don't know where I am. I'm not in my usual place.
Beardy, just to confirm, you did
so-
press record earlier, right? This isn't
really
the
hoping I
preamble
did.
chat we've done before the show.
Well, shush, I'm doing my outro. So if you want to see all of our beautiful faces,
Shushed.
if you want to see our faces, we are on YouTube. Please watch, please like, please subscribe. Do the things.
that's-
See
that's
it when
okay.
it goes live. Spotify, if you need to listen to us whilst you sleep or whilst you drive or any other time you want.
While you're playing with
that'd
tarot
be good.
cards.
Please do that too.
Perfect time.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone does play tarot cards whilst listening to this, please record it and put it online, or we'll get a loop going.
Can you guys stop saying play tarot?
Nope, we are playing.
It's a game.
Read. You read tarot cards.
Well, I don't think
It's
you
like
do
a Ouija
because
board.
they're
You
all
play
pictures,
Ouija.
aren't they? There's no reading
You do
involved.
read them. You read them.
There's
There's
some
words. There are
Anyway,
There's words.
anyway. Outside of the podcast, I'm going to screw this up as well. Obviously, Bobby is streaming on Twitch as Bobby Android. Torgie, are you streaming stuff or playing stuff? Or are you just playing
You
with
know,
Bobby?
I think about streaming sometimes.
I think about it too, but I never do.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Well,
So if you
Torgie-
want to watch either of us, tough luck.
Jesus Christ. This is going off the rails. Torgie is TorgiePie on Twitch. Beardy is McBeardy on Twitch. And you can find us all over the place as well. I'm taking control of this outro. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you soon. Torgie might pop in for another spooky horror corner spooky time in the future. Thanks so much. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.